by seeking patents in Western countries. So this is the resources involved in creating the database. The volume of some particulars of the database is given in this slide, and I have already made my point that the national and the international regimes are not protecting the traditional and the biodiversity, intellectual property rights of the communities. And one more point I want to make here, that the Indian Patent Regime and the Indian Biodiversity Act and the Indian Breeders Act incidentally do not protect the community's right in that, including as far the Breeders Act is concerned, there is no protection at all. And this is a free, India is one of the largest biodiversity holding community as far as the cultivated biodiversity is concerned. So free for looting for anybody and everybody. The kind of regime the Indian legislature has created. So now, what is required to be done? I have just pointed out the serious problem with respect to the rights of the communities, IPR rights of the communities, traditional knowledge and biodiversity. I think the following three legislative measures has to be taken in order to safeguard these interests. For example, we have to cultivate regulation which has to be traditional knowledge centric, not the prospectant centric of the communities. And we have to cultivate models. I'm not saying that the IPR rights of the community should not be commercialized. They should be, but the communities must get due share. So benefit sharing models has to be created, and they have to be institutionalized. Along with, I have listed in 3 slides which the quick administrative action may be taken. I can skip those slides because of the time constraints. So you can skip. These are, I propose 10 administrative measures. Yes. So why we should protect IP rights of the communities in traditional and biodiversity? 2 reasons: moral reasons and economic reasons. If law doesn't subscribe to moral standards, I think that's not a valid law. Therefore, moral compels the rights which we use, the IPRs which we use, the holders must be compensated. It is economically efficient because if we share the benefits with the communities of the IPRs which the prospectants they use, their preservation and promotion shall be ensured, and it shall be more cost effective. So for both the reasons, which is in the interest of the prospectants as well, the IPR regimes, national or international level, should take cognizance of the IP rights of the communities for their own long-term benefits. So conclusions, these 3 conclusions we draw, and a poster which we need to take cognizance followed in the next slide. I wish you take care of this poster. So if you have noticed, thank you very much. Obliged.
Thank you. After hearing the challenge that the nation is facing and some of India's experience on IPR, now we want to further introduce another speaker, Professor Singh&Amar, to talk on the subjects of cultural economics of folklore. Thank you.
everybody. I think I'm audible from here. I don't need the mic. You need mic? I think I'm loud enough. Yeah. Because this digital technology will always fail us. Now the Willy Brandt Commission, it tells that we have borrowed this earth from the posterity and we have not inherited it from the past. Children, you belong to the future generation, the future of this world, the future of your country, the future of your family as well. Please take care of us also, because we belong to you. If we belong to you, then your ancestry belongs to you. If your ancestry belongs to you, their traditional knowledge also belongs to you. So, your traditional knowledge of this country is in your safer hands, I suppose. 30 years back, if I had to come to China, I do not know, I would not have allowed to enter this country. Today, it was just a cakewalk, and thanks to Missy, I'm here, and I'm able to see that the world is flat. It was believed that the earth was flat before the earth was found round. And today the articles come that the world is flat again. Yes, we are able to meet on par with each other. We have the dignitaries present here from abroad. People representing the much criticized West, the US. Children, I would like to tell you that the people who have represented America here are the most simplest persons you would have ever come across. If Professor Breyer is the intellectual in legal profession, the madam sitting behind him for his success is no less a person. She did social service in India, mind you, she did social service in India for the orphans, for the destitute women for the last 3.5 months. When Dr. Breyer was taking care of the students, she was taking care of our society. So the world is flat. So we have come around. Now I would like to make some few points here. I'm speaking from a human being. I'm just a human being. I belong to this human race. I'm one of the best species of this earth. I'm not just a professor. I'm not a professor. I'm just an ordinary person who is concerned about this society, who is concerned about the knowledge that our society has created for years, for generations, and concerned about the protection of the same for the future, because we are going to leave it to your hands. I find when I speak to my students in India, and as I traveled abroad, there is no differences now, the cultural differences. Speaking from the attire you have adorned yourselves here, my students in India also wear, and the students whom I met in the US or Australia or any other country, they also have. So you have trespassed all these barriers. But what you have to retain for yourselves is your culture, the tradition, the knowledge, the scientific empowerment that your ancestry has provided to you. You have got every responsibility to that. You may speak English, you may wear the English dress, you may even talk their accent, the American accent and the English accent, but you cannot lose your ground. You should not lose your ground. You should never get uprooted from your place, because your roots are important for the tree to stand. Please think, children, with that introduction, I just present my paper. I try to be very brief on what I would like to say. I'm an economist by profession. I'm not an economist. I'm an economic student for long. I think until my last breath, I love my subject. As I love my subject, I love other disciplines as well, because I love my life. Now, economics, if some of you have understood that subject, economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. So, it speaks about the life of the people in a very ordinary way of life. But unfortunately, economists have taken it to market-oriented and growth-oriented subject and put the culture and the society behind. This is very unfortunate development of economic science. The economists have taken care of the growth-oriented aspects of the development of any economy.